Yep, you know what time it is, man. Of course, this is your favorite channel, man, CTB. This is Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy, Jay Slay. Say what up to him, man.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Most definitely. You know what you're tuning into, man. I ain't even got to explain it, but I'm going to explain it. This is, of course, a show that we call Chin Check. This is where we rock you guys' chin with boxing news, boxing rumors. Today is going to be a little bit of the boxing variety, the boxing rumor variety of Chin Check. This is a question. I have a question to ask. I pull a poll up on our Facebook group. If you follow us on Facebook, you know, so you've seen the poll already. If you do not follow us on Facebook, I highly recommend you follow us on Facebook and join in the poll. I asked a simple, straight up question, man. I asked a question. Since Triple G and Canelo are fighting on September 17th, which pay-per-view would you pick if Earl Spence and Spence Crawford tried to steal that date? Very simple question. And so far, it seems to be a landslide that the world wants to see Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight on that date. If those two fights happen to be made on the same day, which way you voted, man? Do you vote for Triple G Canelo, or do you vote for Crawford Spence?
Well, I definitely prefer to see Canelo and Triple G over Spence and Crawford. I mean, yeah, man, it's simple. I mean, I know the rumors are swirling that Spence and Crawford is going to challenge Canelo on that date. Because if you think about it, first I was like, I don't think they should do that, because even though I think more people will watch it, that you still will be losing some viewership by competing with them, because some people are just hardcore Canelo fans, but they can look at it as the winner taking over as being the king of boxing. Because if you compete with Canelo on the same date and you outsell him on a pay-per-view and you win that fight, that makes you the man in boxing. So I could see the reasoning behind it, but as far as the question you asked, I think it's a landslide. Like you said, I would definitely take Spence and Crawford any day. Triple G, and like I said, we talked about this on the previous show. We already know what's going to happen in that fight. Even though Canelo lost to Bivol, Triple G is no Bivol. He's not, like you said, he's a lot smaller than Bivol. He hits hard, but like I said, he coming from 160 going up to 168. He's older. He looked bad his last fight, and Canelo was still an elite fighter. So we already know what's gonna happen in that fight. Like I said, other than, like you said, it's boxing. You know, one shot, especially with Triple G power, can change the fight. But if you use your common sense and what you've seen from the first two fights and the age, how both fighters have went in separate directions, you know what's gonna happen in that fight. Spence and Crawford fight is a 50-50 fight. Pretty much everybody split down the middle. It's the biggest fight in boxing. And I think it's like you said, I think you said the other day, it's probably the biggest fight since the 90s. Probably Tyson and Holyfield, maybe. A little bit. I'm trying to think of another fight that might be bigger than that fight.
It would be Pacquiao Mayweather hands down.
I can't. Well, it was a bigger fight, but as far as the weight and how long they waited, and they both went past their prime, and then how bad the fight turned out, I think Spence and Crawford are both in their prime still, so I think it's a bigger fight, but it won't be a bigger fight per se as far as the money it bring in, the pay-per-view sales. But I think as far as boxing and what we need for boxing, I can't think of a bigger fight than probably, like I said, I'm thinking Tyson Holyfield. I got to go way back, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. It's been a while since we had a fight this huge.
Well, I think Tyson was, especially the last fight, I think he was out of his prime at that point, in my opinion. So you want to go prime for prime? What was the biggest fight, prime for prime? I would lean more towards maybe De La Hoya Trinidad, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Somewhere along that line, but both of them.
De La Hoya Trinidad, De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley was a big fight. So yeah, it's somewhere around there. So you talking about at least 15 years
when they both was in their prime. Yeah, like both, it was a 50-50 fight. A lot of people was picking De La Hoya, but I know a lot of people were picking Trinidad in that fight. So yeah, I agree with you. It was a 50-50 fight then. I agree with you, man. I would not pick Triple G versus Canelo over this fight. There's no way, shape, or form. I wouldn't even watch it for free if Spence and Crawford is fighting. Like if I had the option of having two TVs and both of them playing both fights at the same time, I don't even think my eyes would even touch the other TV if Crawford versus Spence is going on at the same time. Like you said, I already know what's going to happen, man. I already know Triple G coming up in weight. He's already slower. He's already older. Canelo got the style down pat. And even though Canelo didn't look his best, it was a lot of attributes on why he didn't look his best. I'm thinking Triple G's probably banking on maybe Canelo slowing down. So maybe it come out me a little bit more motivated for the fight. But I'm also baking that Canelo coming out like a bat out of hell now, because now he lost, now he's pissed off. So I'm pretty sure he about to come out and try to make a show out of Triple G and try to embarrass him. So yeah, in my opinion, man, there's no way, shape, or form I would watch that fight over Spence vs. Crawford. But I will say this though, if I'm PBC, I'm making that fight happen. I'm making it happen on that date, because you gave Canelo an opportunity to sign a 2-fight deal with you guys. You offered him just as much money, and he had better options in fights. So now that he went and chose the zone over you guys, lost after he chose the zone over you guys, and now he want to steal a hot boxing date from what could be possibly your biggest fight. If I'm PBC, man, I'm making that fight happen, bro. I'm like, yo, Canelo, you didn't choose us, so we gonna steal your date. And I make Canelo and Triple G change their date, because they're gonna have. I really see them changing. I see Canelo and DAZN changing their date before I see PBC and Terence Crawford them changing their date. I'm gonna give you two reasons why. Marketing push. Is no way in hell DAZN is going to be able to match the marketing push of a Fox or even Showtime. More likely be on Showtime. There's no way in hell they're going to match a Showtime marketing push. Like, DAZN has no shot in hell of that. And number two, like you said, Canelo and Triple G already happened. So the only real fans who's going to tune into that fight are super Canelo fans and a lot of Latino fans. The rest of the world, who enjoys watching boxing, are going to be watching Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So for those two reasons alone, in my opinion, if I'm PBC, man, I'm making that fight on that date and making Canelo change his date.
One question: have they decided on the location yet?
I think it's in Vegas. You mean Crawford and Spence?
No, Canelo and Triple G.
I don't think so.
Okay, cause that can be big too. If they can, if Canelo and Triple G can lock up Vegas now and get locked in on the contract, that will force Spence and Crawford to go to another location. And like I said, I think that fight need to be in Vegas. And if it's not in Vegas, then they're gonna be pushing for it to be in Dallas. And like you said, Crawford don't want it in Dallas for, I understand the reasons behind that. You want it on, fair ground. So if you DAZN, if you want to put a little kink in they plan to make sure that you can lock that date in, you should be trying to lock Vegas in to try to keep Spence and Crawford taking that date.
I don't see that bad either. All they'll do is pick LA or New York. So you'll pick Vegas, but they'll pick LA or New York. More likely it'd be LA because it's like it's late in the year, and I guess for tax reasons. But it's a possibility. Crawford already mentioned New York. Spence already said in a meetup back when they met up years ago that they could fight on neutral ground. I don't see a fight this big being in Atlanta. I think Atlanta-wise, it's a hotbed for black people. Like, a lot of black folk would turn out for that fight. Man, I would love it if it was in Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie, I would love that move. You know what I'm saying? But I think that fight is too big for Atlanta, in my opinion. So I see them picking LA over, and then Vegas will be missing out on a lot of money because now they are LA. They could be in the Staples Center and then rival whatever Vegas would do. But yeah, if I'm PBC, man, I'm jumping on that fight, dog. I'm jumping on that date. Either that or what be even more funnier if you choose a date before that. Choose the weekend before or after that. And that'll be even more funnier because what's going to wind up happening is they're going to compare your numbers to their numbers. So which one be, that's another question you should ask. If you PBC, what do you do? Do you want to steal a date from DAZN? Would you try to steal the date? Or would you rather wait a week for their numbers to come out and they have your big fight so you can have rival numbers and pretty much completely shit on DAZN?
I would take the week before, like you said, and then take all the luster out of that fight for the next weekend. Almost like Spence did with Canelo last fight. Everybody was talking about, was it Spence or was it who fought the weekend before Canelo?
This past week?
Who fought the weekend before Canelo? I can't remember.
With so many fights, man, going back
it was a big fight before Canelo fight. It might have been Ugas and Spence, but I think it was one other fight, and that was the talk. It was a couple of them, and that was the talk. And the talk was Spence and Crawford because they had been talking back and forth on Twitter, and leading up to the Bivol fight,
Charlo Castano.
So nobody was talking about the Canelo fight, like talking about up until that week into the fight. So if you had that fight the week before, you got the build up of the fight. Then you got people going to talk about the fight for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Nobody gonna give a damn about the Canelo Triple G fight, unless, I don't know, for young people, but you used to have this game called Chicken, You know what I'm saying? You know, if you old school, you get in the car and you got two cars and y'all either race straight towards each other, and then the person that's chicken would go left or right, and then the person that didn't move would win the race, or you could race towards a cliff and the first person to stop would lose. It was a stupid game, but it was real popular in the old 80s movies. So they could play the chicken game with the zone and say, we're gonna take the 17 and we're gonna see if y'all willing to go head to head with us. I would think the zone would move out the way. They would come up with some excuse. They wouldn't say it because of PBC, but they'll come up with some excuse and say that they had to change it for some crazy reason, whatever. But I would do either or. I can see them going either way with them.
Do you see the Mexican holiday playing a role in possibly outselling them because it's a Mexican holiday?
No.
You think they'll put that?
It won't outsell, but it would help because, like I said, Canelo got a strong fan base, and you know what I'm saying. That's a big moment. You know, that's the Mexicans. You know what I'm saying. That's their day, and it's not just boxing. It's a celebration for them, and you know, the Mexicans fan base is real big with boxing, and how they like to celebrate is watching boxing matches, which I think is dope. So on their day, they come together. They like to see a Mexican, most likely their most popular Mexican fighter fight, which would be Canelo. So like I said, they would lose a lot of viewership from that. You know what I'm saying? Group of people, but I still don't think it would sell more than the Spence and Crawford.
If I'm PBC, I got a counter block for that also. They want to pull that move. I'm put David Benavidez on the card. I'm gonna put David Benavidez. If I can get Charlo to sign that contract to fight David Benavidez, I know it's a fight. We doing rumor mill now. I know that's a card on his own. I know that's a headliner of his own. But if I could put Charlo versus David Benavidez on that pay-per-view, man, on September 17th, it is no way in hell, bro, that anybody is gonna watch the zone. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got two main events of that caliber on one card on September 17th. It is no way in shape and form that the zone will not move up.
And David Benavidez is Mexican.
He met what I'm saying. So you got they'll pull the Mexican crowd in too. So they'll pull the Mexican crowd and they got the pro boxing crowd in a frenzy just on that card. You got those two high ass fights on that card. The rest of the card don't even matter. You can have a bunch of bullshit fights before that. The zone card already gonna be trash. We already know that cold card gonna be trash. The only fight that's gonna be worth anything is the main event. So you pull together two dope fights of that caliber on the PBC. It is no way the zone come out is fighting that date.
And I speak for me, but I'm sure I can speak for any boxing fan. I pay $125 for that. So I know a lot of people say, oh, they're not gonna have enough money to pay David Benavidez, Charlo, Spence, and Crawford. But if normally I think the pay-per-view is like $80.
$80.
So if you move it up to $125, that would cover David Benavidez and Charlo. So I would pay $125 in a heartbeat for that.
Yeah.
Would you pay that kind of money for a pay-per-view? With that card?
Most definitely, especially with that caliber right there. I'm definitely paying it happily. If they got another package that say it's $150 for the HD package, I'm paying them $150 for the HD package. I'm trying to see this fight with no interruptions, no buffers, no nothing. They can guarantee me no buffers. They can guarantee me no freezes. They can guarantee me no hiccups at all. I'm paying $150 for that card. I'm not even gonna hesitate at all. You got anything else to add to this topic?
I think we covered it all. You know, this is the week for Tank Davis and Rolling, so we'll be back later this week to cover that fight, and then later in the week we'll have our predictions and our odds. So stay tuned.
Most definitely. Well, with that being said, man, of course, I'm your boy Jay Slay. This has been CTB, Chin Tuck Boxing. Say peace to him, man.
All right, everybody, remember, please hit the like button. It helps our channel. Subscribe. If you're enjoying what we're seeing right now, you looking at us right now, man, we're giving y'all odds. We're giving y'all news. We're giving y'all insight on boxing, man, video games, anything to do with boxing, we're covering it. So if you want to keep in touch with that, man, subscribe and comment and hit the notification bell so you'll know when we drop a video. But most of all, because we love boxing and you love boxing. And most of all, God, peace and love, and we out of here. Take care.
He's coming, and here comes Joaquin, follow with the